we're just gonna sit here for a few minutes waiting for people to get on. I'm gonna turn my camera around so we can see the video
Yes, sir.
and just wait for people to get on. They know the drill. We lose some people, gain some people when they do this, but you know.
Jboss Entertainment, we lit chat.
All these other rap, hip hop podcasts, they got you believing it. They got to this. And this keeps doing all that shit. No, they ain't fucking dirty section.
Let them get deep.
Let them get their They love it. They feel like they get acknowledged.
Welcome to the muddy side of the map.
All right, I don't want this back. Don't diss the dirty section around.
The lies you tell gon' block your blessings. Burning bridges, lost connections. The dialogue is not impressive. Welcome to the dirty section. We shoot the messenger for telling. Chalk them out in nanoseconds. Say my name when you address it. I settle for the dirty section. Yeah. You said you started trends, that's cute, we authored that risk. You lit a spark, we built the furnace, turn the block to embers. Claiming you the blueprint, but we the architects. You trace the lines in pencil, we engraved it in the marble steps. Mansion so big, you need a map to find the kitchen. Only map you ever had was directions to the fiction. Talk about you robbed the gym as just a little kid. Had them help you carry weight, guess you still need assistance. You said you mind your biz, but you the one who sparked the flame. Throw a rock, then hide your hand and scream somebody said my name. Name dropping legends like they sitting at your table, but every time the bill come due, you suddenly unavailable. Said you never touched a dime from a widow publishing. Paperwork was punching back, that court date was humbling. You eating glizzies by the dozen, call it cereal thrills, but we ain't talking breakfast when we say you cereal with the spills. You claim 3 coasts like geography was cosplay. King of everywhere, that's a throne with no hallway. Retired every summer, then you back just for fun. That's like quitting every round, but still asking who won. They say your verse new, but it's dust with cologne. Same bars with a facelift, that's a flip on a clone. Dirty section carved different, pressure cook the imposters. You microwave legends, we slow brew the monsters. Jboss ENT stamped on the crate when the ship. If the talk cheap, we tax every word on your lip. Weight on your shoulders, we bench that in reps. You heavy on excuses, we heavy on checks. Yeah. The lies you tell gon' block your blessings. Burning bridges, lost connections. Dialogue is not impressive. Welcome to the dirty section. We shoot the messenger for telling. Chalk them out in nanoseconds. Say my name when you address it. I settle for the dirty section. Yeah. You beef with a hustler who turned quarters to dollars. Now you salty cause the scale don't tip in your favor, scholar. 50 reasons why the jokes hit harder than pride, yeah. When the truth weigh heavy, it's hard to let it slide, yeah. Features on features, but where the solo throne. You rent the spotlight monthly, we build it from stone, yeah. Billboard never crowned you, that's cool, we ain't count. We stack wins underground, make the cellar feel like mountains. Rumors on former squad members, fabric soft in the talk. You press the wrinkle in the crew, just to iron your clout. Dirty section, yeah, you say it, but you don't live it. You just visit for the photo op, we the ones who built it. You said you young forever, whole life ahead, but every time you drop a classic, it's deja vu instead. Claiming ghostwriters on Kings just to sound elite, but your penny GPS and keep losing the street. You a walking contradiction wrapped in designer threads. Say you done with the game, then you pop back in the threads like a boxer that retired but still shadowing mirrors. Swinging at reflections, we swinging at careers. We don't block blessings, we build corridors. You build a house of hype, we build the corridors. If respect was currency, you bankrupt in seconds. We invested in silence, now that's compound lessons. Dirty section stamped in the mud where we stand. If you mention the team, better mention Nick Grant. Jboss ENT, that's the code we'll be in. You wanted dirty talk, welcome to the center. Lies you tell gon' block your blessings. Burning bridges, lost connections. The dialogue is not impressive. Welcome to the dirty section. We shoot the messenger for telling. Chalk them out in nanoseconds. Say my name when you address it. I'll settle for the dirty section. Dirty section talk. Jboss ENT.
All right, everybody knows
Jboss Entertainment.
that was the dirty section. Yeah, a lot of people heard that. I always start out with that, and while we're waiting, welcome everybody on here. This is TKshady. Dope, educated young man about hip hop. I mean, you might not agree with everything he says, but he's accurate. With a lot. Papoose and Cuban, he did a thing. I 100% agree about both of them. Papoose is definitely someone that you need to listen to. Is he the best out? Not listen to, not in my opinion, but that each his own opinion. That's what this is about, right? So, um, we going live, and I'm gonna hand it over to you. Just introduce yourself and like what your platform is, and your background a little bit with hip hop.
Yes, sir. You know what I mean? My name
Hand it
is
over to you.
TK
Just introduce
Shady.
yourself.
Hold on, something happened to the audio for a second. I think
Yeah.
we're good though.
You good? Yeah.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's me, that kid Shady, also known as TK Shady. I'm a hip hop head from the West Coast, but I love the East Coast. Like I prefer the East Coast over the West. You know what I mean? I grew up with hip hop from since I was a kid, and now as an adult, I just pursue it full time. I battle rap, and now I make music. I used to produce a little bit, but now I'm mainly focusing on the content of hip hop and trying to embrace the culture and trying to spread positivity within it. And that's what I do nowadays.
All right. Yeah. Just want to check this out. We got Hood Smokers podcast in the room right now. Shout outs. What up, though? They huge supporters of Jboss ENT. We also are huge supporters of Hood Smokers podcast. Jason Gutter, Blantonio Todd, and King. I forgot. I'm sorry, Jay. I forgot his name. Uh, damn. Damn, I forgot what the heck his name is. King something. Can you? If you don't mind, tell him I'm sorry about not shouting his name out right. But Antonio Todd, I've had on here plenty of times. Jason Gutter's been around us, always on in the comments, always promoting us. We're always promoting him, and it's just a love. That's what we do. From Detroit to Arizona to California, wherever to UK and other parts of the country. So, and thank you for all coming and. I have a couple questions for him. I'm going to start out with. So I did notice when I went to your platform that there was something on there. Like I didn't watch anything. I didn't look it up. I'm going to just let you talk about rap battles. Like what you said that you used to be into rap battles. That you actually were a battle rapper.
Yeah, so I'm very heavily well, I used to be heavily involved with battle rap. That's why if you go on my Instagram page, there's an iconic photo of me and Hollow the Dawn in Houston, downtown Houston. And I basically that was me like coming out to show everybody like, yo, I do this, like I battle rap and everything. And everybody loved me when I was there, but I was never given the opportunity to go beyond that. Unfortunately, there was just certain politics behind it, and I wasn't able to pursue that. But before that, I did a lot of battle rapping in the street, and I'm still willing to battle rap today. You know what I mean? If people give
Yeah.
up a bag, I'm not gonna do it for free. I've done it for free for too long. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I hear
I'm
you.
about my bag when it comes to battle rap. So what
Yeah,
happened?
man. No, I hear you on that. You get to a certain point, I feel that, like, um, the love of it, you have the love of it, but you doing it, for, the recognition, but also, when you win, you want to make some dough. I get that.
Yeah, like my thing is like not to sound cocky or anything, but I have way more wins than losses. I have like 3 losses under my belt out of like the 50 battles I've had. So it's like to me, it's like how much longer can I endure not benefiting off of this? You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
I can't do that
Maybe
no
we
more
should try
like
to
that.
promote more of your stuff. I'd love to see it. I'm going to take a look after, we're off of here tonight. I'm going to study your stuff and see what I think. And, maybe we'll start promoting some. Maybe we'll have some rap battles online. That'd be pretty dope, right? I seen you doing that.
Yeah, here's another thing I did. Another reason why like people love me on the internet is because during COVID time, people weren't allowed to really go out and do stuff. So I used to host my own like online battle rap tournament. So like I used to have more videos in the past, but there's a lot of like online rap battles I used to host for people and stuff. And I had like this whole platform. It would be like a 30-man bracket of just people battle rapping. And because of that, I got a lot of recognition on that from the internet back in like 2019, 2020.
Yeah. So that's dope, man. I gotta check that out. Anybody on here want to check that out? Go to his platform, TK Shady. I believe on all platforms, right? Like Instagram, YouTube, and
Yes,
TikTok.
sir. Yes, sir.
So, with that being said, so I was also noticing on you got some pretty dope interviews that you've done on your uh, page, on your platform. And I was like, you do amongst the different things,
Yeah.
and I was pretty impressed. I got like in like a rabbit hole on your page because it just went from one degree to another. The 10 worst Instagram rappers to interviewing MC Shan and M80.
Yeah.
The Tony Sunshine, Baloney Sunshine thing that was hilarious. And he was, he's like, and he pulled out the gat. Remember, I was like, look at this dude, man. You
Yeah.
know, he said he's never got robbed for his own chain, but you know what? He did get robbed of Cuban's chain. So he did get robbed of a chain, and that's why Cuban got into he got cut from here to here, getting it back. So,
That's
um, you know,
ridiculous. Yeah.
Tony, he protected Tony. Look what Tony does to him. But
Yeah.
that's crazy. So, with that being said, I'll let you tell us the story. Why don't we start out with some interviews? Like tell us about M80, how you came across M80, and that would start that
So
off.
I'm gonna be real, and hopefully there's no M80 fans on here.
Well,
Me
hood
and
smokers I know
M80,
are,
I've known
but
him.
go ahead.
So me and M80, we used to have issues from like when I was in high school. Like I was like 15 years old when I first met M80, so like 10 years ago.
Right,
Well, 9 years ago, basically 10 years ago. And it was all some petty stuff. So he never really liked me. And really, it's been a thing where he would block me and unblock me and then block me and unblock me because he's a guy that likes attention. So if someone's speaking about him, he wants to be tuned in. And I was always talking shit about M80.
right.
So uh, one day I wanted to apologize because I realized if I'm going to make it in this industry, I shouldn't be beefing with people who are bigger than me.
Right, right.
And I reached out to his people, and he agreed to unblock me, and I apologized, and he let me have an interview with him, and that's how that went. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gave a lot of
And
good content in
we
that.
squashed our little beef.
Yeah, that's dope. That was very man of you. Sometimes when we're young, we do dumb things. You're entitled to your opinion, but sometimes it's the way you go about it. There's different ways
Yeah,
of doing it. You know what I mean? You learn, as you get older. You know what I mean? Like everybody learns. Well, I'm 51. And some days I feel like I never learn, but but there is a way of communicating. That's very big of you. And it was good that M80 was able to hear you out. Because he's an older guy, he understands. People say things. You're entitled to their opinion. Also, you're entitled to feel how you feel. Because I
yeah.
know, and explain why though. What the issues were.
So it was literally just dumb stuff, man. Like there was a cannabis book, and I actually have it in my closet. It's an autographed CD and pages of rhymes that he wrote himself, like
Right.
literal like pages of his rhyme book. And I purchased it, but I never received it. And M80 was the one shipping them out. So I called him out on the shit for not giving because he did it on purpose where he didn't deliver it to me on purpose. But if I pay you the bread, like you gotta give me my merchandise. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and
I agree.
that's all it was. I called him out on it online publicly, and a lot of people attacked him for it, and it kind of forced them to give me the stuff. So that's just where
Gotcha.
it stems from. It wasn't nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Pettiness. Just him being petty
He's
towards me.
he seemed a very confident dude, and he knows what he's about. And he reminds me of somebody I've heard before. Like he looks like he looks like Seth Rogen a little bit.
Yeah.
But he seemed like a cool dude. He has a lot of good information, and like he sounds like somebody good to talk to. Like he knows a lot about the industry, and he's buying. Like I explained what he was talking about the licensing. I was trying to catch that, like exactly what he was saying.
The licensing, like with the music that he does.
Yeah, like what is exactly is he do? Like he was explaining like how much money he makes off of the licensing.
Yeah, so the thing is, even that is something I'm not too informed with, but I do know like when you have a certain licensing, you get like a percentage of like every time the record spins. You know, you just you have more opportunity to make more money off a record if it's licensed properly. You know what I mean? But that's
Right.
how to do that type of stuff is beyond me. You know what I mean?
And he's a
That's a
lawyer,
question for
right?
him. Yes, he's a lawyer. He's man, he's a lot of things, man. He's a felon, he's a lawyer, he's a rapper, he's a manager. You know what I mean? He's a lot of things, man.
Well, anyways, M80, check out that interview on his platform. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I mean, was there 2 parts of it?
It's one part, but I broke it up into clips too.
Yeah, okay. I watched it. It was pretty dope. I enjoyed it. I got some information out of it. I still got questions in my head. I'd like to talk to him myself. Get him on our platform.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to the man and figure out, so I could do that with our music. Like, get that licensing proper. I mean, we did copyright it.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, though, there's other things that you got to do also, I believe. So that I don't know about the licensing. I got to learn that stuff. I don't know it. And I have a record label. How do I not know that? I just don't. It's things I still got to learn. So also that so the M80, that was pretty cool. And he worked with Cannabis, who's your favorite rapper,
Yes.
right? So
Cannabis is my favorite rapper. Cannabis inspired me to rap in a way.
I heard that freestyle that you had on there with Big Pun, Fat Joe, right? Who was the other 2? Cameron?
The Cannabis is on there?
Cameron?
Oh, you're talking about the Nori song.
The one that had where Pun came in crazy.
Yeah, Pun killed that. Big Pun. He
Yeah,
killed that.
nobody did better than him.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Nobody could touch that. And that's not just bias. That's just facts. I've never heard anybody come in like that before. Ever.
Yeah.
That was a legendary cipher.
Yeah. The way he comes in, he just like chops it up. He's a monster, man. It's hard to explain. I could be here all day talking about Big Pun, man. He was a monster. He was a monster. But,
so
yeah.
then we had then maybe we'll save that towards the end if we get more listeners in here, the MC Shan story, because I want to hear that, and I'm sure everybody else wants to hear that.
The MC Shan story is funny.
Yeah, so I was laughing. I was like, "You said shut the." I was like, his reactions were crazy.
Yeah, he went
you
crazy.
said that you guys are cool. It almost seemed like he was like it was like one of those. What do you say? Who y'all? This Jboss ENT, this TKshady.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, on my platform, Jboss ENT. We have our own record label and podcast, and then we also do lives. Check out our record label. Got Cuban Link on there. We got some. We're gonna have some other artists coming up. So check that out. And I don't know if I'm gonna play any of his music tonight, but it depends how tonight goes. Because if he was going to react to it, I don't want him to hear it yet because I want his real reaction. So,
right.
That being said, what was I going to ask you? Oh, so all right. So I seen the Tony Baloney thing. Like, you just got on his live one day.
You know what's funny? There's another guy in that live who sent the live to me, and he said, "Hey, Tony is acting a fool." So he shared it to me, and if you look at the live chat, you will see him talking crap. If you watch the video, if you look at the messages, he's actually talking more crap than I am. And Cuban Link, so you guys are putting in work for real. Yeah, they're putting in work. They're putting in work. But anyways, that dude sent me the live, and he was talking mad junk to Tony Sunshine. He told Tony that he got slapped by a cock and he likes men, like all types of stuff like that. And I just kept saying, like, yo, Tony, if you so nice, how come Fat Joe never gave you an album? I just kept saying that over and over. And
how'd you record that like that?
The what? The live?
How did you record that like that?
Oh, I just screen recorded it.
Oh, I don't know how to do all
like
that.
through my phone.
That's pretty dope.
I'll show you. Well, I'll show you after we're done.
Okay.
So yeah, I recorded. We were just talking smack, and we just kept like baiting him into getting upset with us until he eventually pulled out the gun. So once he pulled out the gun, he was saying that he was gonna smoke us and all types of stuff. Man, he was trying to act. He was trying to do the internet gangster stuff. That's all he was trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like that because
But
we all know Tony Baloney hid underneath tables and pool tables and the stories whenever fights broke out, it was always, Cuban and the rest of the terror squad fighting, not in Tony Baloney. But he didn't have
yeah,
to go this way.
yeah,
Like he'd probably be, have a lot more respect if you didn't do the things or said the things, even if going by Fat Joe, but the disrespect that he gives is unbelievable. And Hood Smokers podcast,
yes,
they dealt with it. Their manager tried to stop them from doing anything about Tony talking shit. So,
yeah. And
this platform isn't. Yeah, go ahead.
Tony talks the most junk out of like almost everybody now. He honestly is up there with Fat Joe when it comes to the trash talking. He talks more junk than Pistol Pete.
If he's getting any money from Fat Joe, it's for the shit talking.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I feel
He
like the
said
chains he's wearing are ones that Joe didn't want to wear anymore and gave him as extras. I don't think he bought them for him.
he gave him the hand me downs.
Yeah, yeah. Because Joe's stuff looks a lot smaller, but more brolic diamonds, and not that I pay attention
Yeah.
to him much, but I'll watch the highlights of when Jade is going in on Joe. It's just hilarious. I love that. That's probably the only reason they get all the ratings is because of Joe always capping and lying.
You can't have your R&B guy on the front lines as a basic rule of thumb. Yeah, but I understand what you're trying to say, but at the same time, how are you gonna act a fool? You know, how are you gonna have this image of you being a gangster, and then when it's time to be gangster, you're not really gangster. You know what I mean? Like, come on now.
And you stay in his lane. That's all. Everybody respect that. People know the stories.
Yep.
I mean, Fat Joe knows the truth. Everybody knows the truth. It's not taking anything away from his talent because even Cuban says he's a talented, young, dope singer. Like he's dope.
Yep.
He's taken away from his talent. It's just his personality and his actions. And showing him his face. Like what he's about. Like that kind of ruins it for everybody. Even though he's dope. I mean, he's done a couple things in the industry. Uh, I don't know how recent. I think I've seen some recent stuff, but nothing with an album, like you said. Nothing with his own with other features on it. I haven't seen anything, which isn't right. Like, if you're gonna go to Joe, like, and he promises you stuff, it's like a dude said, a fan said, he has never yet to put any artist out like 50 Cent has. 50 Cent has put every one of his artists out, and whether you like 50 Cent or not, he did that. 50 Cent did those things, and he's a stand up guy like that. Like, he takes care of his people until you cross him. And it's like Cuban Link has in my opinion, this is my own opinion. He never said this, but I feel like he's got that same mentality. Like, until you cross him, you know, he he has nothing to do with you no more. It's like, and I feel like 50, whether he's trolling people and he shouldn't be, I heard your opinion about him, which is entitled, like, I'm a 50 guy, but like, yeah, like, I've also heard a lot of people saying they can't F with him anymore because, the things he's been doing. But, I like how he came up, as the mixtape champion, how he got with Eminem. I love his loyalty to Eminem. Like, his hatreds towards Ja Rule will stay there forever because not just because of what he had that relationship with, when the things happened, but what he did, what he said about M's daughter. You know what I mean? Like, coming
Yeah.
to M like that. So, I respect that loyalty he does have. Like, he is a loyal dude. Like, until you cross him, it's like even Yayo, Tony Yayo, and everybody that ever had any problems with him eventually say, 50 is that dude, like, for real. But then, it's like, who just came out? Chris Brown, Breezy. He just said that 50 is one of the most stand up guys, and people said, oh, you're overrating him. I don't, each entitled to their own opinion. I see what I see, other people see what they see, you know. And I have some close people to me that don't like what he's doing right now just because of who he's bigging up. He became friends with Fat Joe again, like, what is that? Or he's just trying to keep his enemies close. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't like that aspect of it. But yeah, I'll let you talk about. All right, so back to the Tony Baloney. So like I seen you saying all that stuff. There's that one guy in there calling him. He wouldn't get on. He said he was blocked from going live. Is that even such a thing?
So what happens is if like you keep wilding out, or like let's say for example, if I get on Instagram and I just start breaking every Instagram guideline, if I'm cussing like crazy, Instagram will
Right.
limit me from sending messages or even like commenting on posts. So
Right.
he couldn't go live because he was wilding before he got on the live. That's what he meant.
So, but Tony was saying that he was calling him, and then and the guy said he's black. But so Tony was just saying he was lying. So you believe the guy that said that?
Yeah, I believe him. I believe the guy because
Mm.
if you notice when you invite somebody to go live on Instagram, like they'll take off like the bottom part of the screen, so it'll be like you on top and then me at the bottom. That never happened on the
Immediately when
thing
you
with
try.
Tony. Yeah, if you invite them, that's what would happen. But since he invited him and he was blocked, it didn't go through. So that's why I believed him.
So, oh, that's what's up, man. Like I believed it. I just like but he did. He almost made him look like a punk, unless people really knew, you know, because the dude was calling him out. It's like I loved it though. It was
Yeah,
hilarious. It was like kind of like the cock slap story. I was like, it's a real story. Like I know the story. You got to watch the interviews. Check out Panda Chop with that. I mean, look at the
yeah.
different memes. Go to Cuban's IG, like, and check out the stories from that time period from a couple of years ago. He's got a whole song like that he made with from about Tony with the sausages falling over his
You,
face
you know what's crazy though? I was talking just as much shit as the other guy was, and Tony never invited me.
because you had facts. Like you weren't like taking away his manhood at all. Like the other guy was trying to take his
Yeah,
manhood away from him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when like and then he's trying to act like P. Diddy. He's like, all right, Playboy, hey, Playboy. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
why you doing the Diddy thing, bro? Like, really? And he's showing off his fake teeth. I mean, God, no, 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 not for nothing. He used to be a crackhead. So,
Yeah, I
thank God,
heard.
I'm hoping that he's recovered from that. I don't wish that on nobody. I'm just saying, like um, he act like he all that and then some. You feel me? So, right? What is that? What
Yes,
is
I
it?
was bringing facts.
So, someone said, please say hi to my friend Basho Chelney. He's one of our top fans. It was the Travel 5143. I don't know who that was. Rich Breezy. Who y'all? Okay. Good. So, with that all being said, so what was else to the so we had that. So you got done with that. I watched that. I watched that a few times. I couldn't help myself. I just wanted to watch it. It's like I love watching Tony. And then there was some girl on there. I was about to say, is that a transvestite? But I didn't say that because I get in trouble. Mad love to transvestite. I'm not against anybody, so no hate here. But I was just gonna ask because I thought that he rolled that way. You heard? So
Yeah,
um
yeah.
what else was there? So we'll talk about extra shit. So let's talk about the reaction. Like, I'm gonna show just for the people that don't know. I'm gonna show the first. I'm gonna show the. I think people that don't know the letter to pun to uh, reaction. I'm gonna go to your page and this is if you and this is advertising. If you want to go see it yourself, and this also helps promote our stuff. So I'm gonna all right, this is TKshady doing a reaction to Letter Pun 2. This is a video that Jboss ENT did with Cuban Link, and check that out. And I'm gonna flip that camera around. Hope you all enjoy. People that haven't watched the Letter Pun 2, check that out. There we go.
up? You guys see what time it is? There is nothing to hide here. This is Cuban Link Letter to Pun Part 2. 3 sides to every story. As you can see, I haven't watched this. I'm gonna leave it a like. Secondly, if you haven't heard this, check it out. This is my first time hearing this, so I'm excited. Let's get into this. This is a 3-minute 48-second record. It might as well be a 10-minute song because Cuban Link he be rapping that realness, man. So let's respect it. We're gonna get into it, and we're gonna get right into it, man. Let's get it. Let's go.
Jboss Entertainment, we lit chat.
What up, twin? You know I had to write you another one. Letter to the better part 2. Cause there's always 3 sides to a story. But there's only one truth. There's 3 sides to a story. When it's real, you could tell it. The thing about the truth is that you don't gotta sell it. It outweighs any type of lie when you spell it. And you can feel it deep in your soul when you inhale it. What up, twin? Your brother Cuban is back at it again. You know what happens when I go and grab that pad and the pen. I link words together, snatch them and bring out that lyrical assassin on the tap into that passion within. I've been alright though, living my life, taking it quite slow. Trying to let the Bible guide me through this blinded light show. Full of smoke and mirrors, it's so hard to choose the right road. Hoping that my lyrics reach your spirit through this mic, bro. I know you've been upstairs watching for almost 20 years and seen who really cared after you made them millionaires. It ain't what it is. This game is fake.
See who really cared after they made a millionaires. You know who he's talking about. Beluga.
Hoping that my lyrics reach your spirit through this mic, bro. I know you've been upstairs watching for almost 20 years and seen who really cared after you made them millionaires. It ain't what it appears. This game is faker than veneers. I wonder when it rains, is it you that's shedding tears? I wrote this letter here to clear the air for all the listeners, discussing all the squad's business, saying that they missing us. It's really tough getting back to what that vision was. I wish it never happened, but it's 3 sides to a story. When it's real, you can.
Wow. Wow. He says he wish he can see what the vision was. Yo, that you could feel the pain, man. Look what the man. Damn, this some hard stuff. Wow.
Discussing all the squad's business, saying that they missing us. It's really tough getting back to what that vision was. I wish it never happened, but it's 3 sides.
Let's go back. Listen to that closely. Listen to that. Look what he says.
I wonder when it rains, is it you that's shedding tears? I wrote this letter here to clear the air for all the listeners, discussing all the squad's business, saying that they missing us. It's really tough getting back to what that vision was. I wish it never happened, but it's 3 sides.
He said it's really tough to get back to what that vision was. Oh my God, bro. That's real. This is why I said, listen to Cuban Link. Bro, I haven't even heard it. I've been waiting to react to this, bro. This is real hip hop. This is on. Yo, bro, I love this shit, man. Cuban's nice. Let's get into it, man. Talk to him, Cuban. Talk to him, Cuba.
It's really tough getting back to what that vision was. I wish it never happened, but it's 3 sides to a story. When it's real, you can tell it. The thing about the truth is that you don't gotta sell it. It outweighs any type of lie when you scale it. And you can feel it deep in your soul when you inhale it. 3 sides to a story. When it's real, you can tell it. The thing about the truth is that you don't gotta sell it. It outweighs any type of lie when you scale it. And you can feel it deep in your soul when you inhale it. I stayed thinking about you. When you was here, it was hard to doubt you. Once your mind was made up, ain't no way to go without you. I'ma shout you out, twin, forever, cause I'm proud to. And I'ma rep your image even when I'm not allowed to. Chris wrote a song about you, what is harder.
What you mean by that? I'ma rep your image even when I'm not allowed to. Hold on. Is Cuban not allowed to rep Big Pun? Is that what he's saying, or am I tripping? Y'all let me know.
Once your mind was made up, ain't no way to go without you. I'ma shout you out, twin, forever, cause I'm proud to. And I'ma rep your image even when I'm not allowed to, Chris.
Even when I'm not allowed to. Does that mean Cuban can't say Big Pun's name like that? Wow, wow, okay, I'm just gonna finish. My bad, I keep pausing it. This is new to me, so I'm like I said, this might as well be a 10-minute song because I'm trying to get into them lyrics. You know what I mean? Cuban got those lyrics down for days.
You out, twin, forever, cause I'm proud to. And I'ma rep your image even when I'm not allowed to. Chris wrote a song about you, poured his heart out to his fans. Showed them all a story that was hard to understand. It wasn't in his plan to paint you as a bad man. He just spit the truth of what he been through, took his last stand. Amanda going hard, she always been a star. She went from selling shades to getting paid for spitting bars. Vanessa's on the job, building up a catalog. Lil Phil plays guitar, rapping, singing out for God. And if you got my heart pounding extra, cause the pressure. That's your little niece, you be reminding me and stress ya. Liza's still my sister, so you know I gotta stress her. Keep her in my prayers, hoping God bless her. There's 3 sides to a story when it's real, you can.
That's real. I wonder if Cuban. It sounds like Cuban and Liza talk a little bit nowadays, or at least keep it cordial. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what that relationship's like, but that was nice, man.
Tell it. The thing about the truth is that you don't gotta sell it. It outweighs any type of lie when you spell it. And you can feel it deep in your soul when you inhale it. 3 sides to a story when it's real, you can tell it. The thing about the truth is that you don't gotta sell it. It outweighs any type of lie when you scale it. And you can feel it deep in your soul when you inhale it. Like you, there's no other. Told you it's forever, forever, my twin. You're the reason I'm here. Salute you. Don't worry, your brother's good. Soul in the right place. Mind in the right place. Heart in the right place. You ain't stop until you get that street named after you. You know that. We gonna celebrate your life, not your death. My nigga.
Is that it? No, I was hoping for another verse.
Yo, that was my boy TK here doing his dingy thing. Really appreciate you showing the love, bro. It's hard to find people on here that react to Cuban because he's like, when I find stuff, it's usually like toe to toe. Because that's personally that's my favorite track ever of all times. Like my hype song, like a hype song. You know what I mean? Bar for bar, going back and forth like a boomerang. I love that part. Let's see here.
Yeah, they go back and forth. They both go crazy. They both go crazy.
Man. Absolutely. So, yeah, man. Yo, PW's, he's our engineer, captain that makes it happen, just like Decon. He says you're bringing facts. He wasn't ready to face, about, homeboy, Tony Baloney. This dude said Julian JNJUR. He said I grew up on Smack DVD rappers.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's what's up. Me, I grew up with jeez, that's the next question I'm gonna get at you. But I grew up with so when I was 1983, I was 8 and I got into hip hop pretty good. I was Fat Boys. My stepdad, he wasn't good for a lot of things. God rest his soul, but we didn't really get along that well. But he had this machine that he got from work. He worked for Samsung when he came to the United States as a worker in New Jersey. He brought home this machine, and it had like all these places that you could put cassette tapes. So I could take a cassette and record 4 or 5 of them at a time. So I borrowed the Fat Boys album, a cassette, and recorded them all, and I was selling them at school for like $3 a piece. And You know, I used to do that with that was my little hustle when I was a kid to get ice cream money or whatever, you know, like a little bit of cash, you know, get the ice cream man. I never had money for the ice cream man, but you know, that's how I got that, you know, like the ice cream man came and everybody else had money. And I was like, man, I can't get no damn ice cream. I sent my money to get the
Yeah,
Frogger,
yeah,
the frog. There used to be a game, Leapfrog or something, Frogger. And there's a
yeah.
ice cream that had
Frogger.
little candy eyes. And I used to save up my money to get that. I don't know if anybody remembers that. You know, I'm 51, so I don't know if anybody remembers that. And
Was
well,
it
that's
was
what
it
I
the
always do with
little
it.
bubble gum on the ice cream?
No, not back then. I might have been. I can't remember, man. Like, you know, I grew up like right up the road where I grew up from. There's a Dairy Queen. You know, we used to go there, and I used to get vanilla ice cream when my grandpa picked me up and spoiled me. I get a little dip it in the chocolate, the hard coating. I used to get that all the time. But that's another subject. Let's think about ice cream, man. My fat boy's kicking in. So thinking about the fat boys, you know, I used to beatbox too. I don't think I had the breath for that or even remember. You know, I used to do that when I was a kid. How good I was, I don't know. I mean, I must have had rhythm because I played the snare drum in elementary school, so I must have had some sort of rhythm. I used to dance and, you know, I'll break dance and I used to dance and, you know, when I got to high school, that was back in the Villanella Ice days and MC Hammer. And I used to go to dress just like that. I used to have the rat tail and the paisley shirt with the Z Cavaricis and the black shoes with the metal tips. So I used to go out dancing and then we used to do, you know, the skids. And I don't know if anybody remembers that. That's way before you. I got kids older than you, TK. I got one kid
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
probably
I'm confused
probably
listening.
exactly your age. I was just with her tonight, Bella. Bella and Giovanna. I went with them today grocery shopping, and Bella, she was born in '03, so. Um, and my other daughter was born in '01, so she's, you know, grown. And then my other daughter's 92 and 96. so I've
Wow.
so yeah, man, been around a long time. So too long sometimes, but grateful I'm still here, I guess. You know. Uh,
Yes, sir.
so now let's get into it. All right. So we've been on here quite some time. So I'm gonna edit this anyway. People are gonna watch it. I'm gonna put it on Instagram. This is one of those ones for the record books. This is a interview that's for the record books. All right. So um, MC Shan, let's go. Let's go. I watched it. You know that was hilarious. You know what I did watch. So I only watched a small clip. I didn't watch the whole thing. I couldn't find it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have it posted. I need to post it. I need to post it.
yeah.
So MC Shan used to go live all the time on Instagram. And I got lucky enough 3 times to talk to him. The first 2 times I had regular conversations with him. The third time he was super, super drunk. Like this man was drinking so much on live. So I asked him, "Can I join your live to speak with you?" And he did. We had a great conversation. I told him how old I was. He wanted to kick me off the live. He said I was too young. And I said, "Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me show you something." And I started playing some Teddy Pendergrass on the TV. And then he was like, "Yo, nephew, what you know about this?" And
Wow.
he started going crazy. And then he told me, "You look like you know how to rap." So I was like, "Yeah, I know how to rap." And then he said, "I want you to freestyle for me." So I hit him with some like old verse I had remembered in my head. And
Right.
that's when you saw the clip. He was trying to explain to me like, you need to be more passionate, you need to have more energy. And I said, "Okay, I'll take that in consideration." And he was like, "Man, fuck you and your consideration." he was he was just so drunk, man. He was so drunk. And
yeah, man.
I started messing with him. I had him dancing, bro. I had him dancing. I put on some like old Teddy Pendergrass. He started dancing. Like that's how drunk he was.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, so I still remember the verse I spit for him too. I don't know if I can spit it right now. I probably could,
Yeah, go
but
ahead. Well, if you can, go ahead.
let me remember it real quick. Hold on. Okay, I think I got it. It was like, "Yo, hold on. Let me get it together." This was on the spot. Hold on. Okay, I got it. It goes like this. Yo, if you want to keep saying you're done, then leave. I'm gonna be cool. Shit that comes out of your mouth. Fuck, I fucked it up. Say shit that comes out of your mouth. Please, I'm gonna be cool. You just want to be seen, never trying to creep through, and you kind of flirty with them niggas that you speak to. Hearts and LOLs. Don't think I didn't peep, boo. If another nigga could have you, he could keep you. Talking about screenshots. What are we in preschool? You a freak, bitch. I got some shit that I could leak too. So don't do that. That should keep it peaceful, depending on how you act. That's how I'ma treat you. I don't care how bad you are. These bitches equal. And none of y'all exempt from the pimp walk with a real limp. All I do is peel shrimp. Okay, what about them niggas you be texting? I ain't insecure or jealous, it's a respect thing. Hey man,
That has some
don't even
energy
write
in it, but
that.
you probably did it a little bit more nervous though. It was MC Shan.
You know, I actually did it flawlessly for MC Shan. Like if I find the recording, I'll post it so you can see it because it was like no stumbles, no nothing. I went all the
You
way
need to
in,
re-edit
and he
that. You
liked
need to
it.
re-edit the whole thing because, bro, that could get like that go viral. You see him telling us, "Shut the yo."
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't want to do him dirty because he was so drunk, man. That was the only thing.
Maybe ask him if
Like
you
he
could
was
do that
beyond drunk. Yeah, I'll hit him up. I'll hit him up.
because that is legendary. But he was giving you advice though, but pissed off.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, very,
So,
very pissed off.
I love to get him on
So
mine. I wouldn't care if he's drunk. I would love to get him on my platform. That would be, crazy.
MC Shan is a he's for the people. He's for the people. I'll say that he's
Yep.
definitely for the people.
This podcast right now, what I'm doing on my own is for the people. What I'm doing in the future with my record label and this stuff is about only one person. And we know who that is. So,
Right.
um, right now, I'm trying to just stay afloat and stay relevant and stay, in the grind. I mean, some days like right now, we probably already had 100 viewers in there come and leave, but that's what happens. It's
Right.
a certain time of night here, and we still might end up getting more people in here. It depends on how long we go for. So, um, so that was. I mean, maybe we could play that MC Shan thing for people, man, for a second. I don't know. What do you think? No.
I'd rather it be a thing where like I let me edit it and then I'll post it up.
Do the whole thing. I was gonna show
I'll
that little
post the
clip.
full version.
How about this? Next time we
I'll
do it,
post the
I'll
whole version.
put you on. We'll go on Streamlabs, right? And we'll put the link in. That way, it sounds more professional and looks better. We'll go on Streamlabs. I'll have my
Yeah.
camera set up, and you have your stuff set up. We'll put the headphones on and do it the right way.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Cause yeah, you're right. That it could go live. He went crazy on me. He crashed out.
Bro, I watched it a bunch of times. I was like, no, this only got this on this. I'm like, no way. What was the video that you had a million views on the short?
I have two videos actually. That's a short. One of them is it looks like it's a video of Dipset, and it looks like Jim Jones is twerking. So everybody was losing their mind. They were like, "Yo, is Jim Jones twerking like that? It looks crazy." And then another
Wow.
one is like a video of Rick Ross, just talking.
Yeah, man, that's funny. Rick Ross and
So I got a lot of hate for that Jim Jones video.
well, sure. I mean, I'm not a huge Jim Jones fan. I'm not a hater by any means, but I'm not a huge fan. A lot of people and I hate saying this. I don't want to disrespect anybody that I deal with on my platform, friends, people that I might work with in the future or have worked with. But a lot of people
Right.
mess with Jim Jones because he's someone that is willing to work with other artists. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for I don't know if it's affordable or he's just more willing. I don't know which one it is, or he sees talent and sees the because the people I've had are like top of the line. They're doing stuff in the industry, just not getting the full recognition they need. And I've had them on my
Yeah.
platform. I got one of the interviews that you might want to watch. Benny Slums, he freestyled on it. I got 41,000 views on that, and it wasn't. I did it live, but after I re-edited it, they wouldn't let me go any. They wouldn't let me promote it through YouTube promotions because she said something
Wow.
about panties and then a trainee talking about panties and a trainee. I asked him to give me the first verse that he looked back on that he did that he's like, yo, I'm a dope rapper. I always ask that, rappers that are doing, coming out because that's legendary. If what I mean, he did music with Twins from Mobb Deep. Um, he did but Prof way back before Prof is Prof. He did music with so there's another guy. I'm wondering when he's coming home because King Benny, he produced before Prodigy died. That's how I met Prodigy. Well, he came to Utica, and Prodigy he did all his beats and he produced a lot of Prodigy's music, and he also Milk Money from Capadonna. He produced that.
Okay.
He got a Billboards award
Wow.
before he went to jail. I remember him posting that on his Facebook page, and he called me from jail, and then quite a few times. Not I haven't heard from him but a month or two, and the last I heard he was coming home in March, but I was told he wasn't home yet. So
Wow.
so I got him, and then Steel Frame. He's the one he introduced me to Ron Browse. Ron Browse is a beat master, a hook master. He did Pop Champagne and A-Rap Money amongst other things. He just he's coming back now. He's making a comeback. He came and performed out here, and we went to see him, and we got to go talk to him and stuff. We made it like kind of a business um, venture, going to go with him because I wanted to get him on our platform, but it didn't work out at that time. So, but I got to meet him, and he's a dope person to know in the industry. If you don't know who he is, check him out. I do like Ron Browse. I think he's dope, especially with his beat making. And he'll look out like he looks out for the people. If you had 2,500. I mean, at least in my opinion, like he'll do like something nice with you. Like he'll give you the beat. You go to the studio and you can make a record over the beat. You know what I mean? And he's a good person to know. So it was people I met, like you still frame it. Like, he's like one of the nicest people in Utica, in my opinion. And then I got my boy Bryce, but he can't do much. He just had a baby, but he's working. Like he's writing music. He's trying to get back in the studio. R&B star. I've been with him since he was 21 years old. He's 38 now.
Wow. Wow.
So a lot of things happened when I got locked up in 2012. So lost a lot of that energy and lost a lot of my connects and that I established back then. It's kind of funny when you have nothing. Everybody seems to dwindle away. So the real ones stay, the fake ones go. You figure out who your friends are. At the end of the day. But sometimes what you have to. But it's also a business deal. I get that too. Maybe we're never friends, or maybe we just business associates. If you have money, we can do business. That type of thing. I get that.
Right.
But so at the end of the day, you realize who say they cool with. Then they don't have to do business with me, but to stay in touch with me, so they can show me love, or at the end of the day too. There's some industry people I met, and now I don't even. I call them. It's like I'm blocked. So. That's all
Wow.
good,
Blocked
though.
is crazy.
I don't know if I am, but you get a ring and it, you don't even get voicemail.
Yeah.
So
You know how I know Cuban is dope? Like, not even me being biased.
yep,
I started doing the reactions and stuff on my channel. A lot of my followers are people who are like actually younger than me, like from the age of like 18 to like 23. That's like what my
right,
demographic really is.
right.
And I showed you a screenshot. A couple guys hit me up and they were like, "Yo, this Cuban Link guy is crazy." And
Yeah, hell
I would
yeah.
ask them like, "Yo, what you listening to?" And one of them told me he was listening to, I forgot what the album was called. Chain Reaction, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah, that one. It was that one. Another one. I told the other one to listen to. Was it 24K? I think it was called.
Yeah, that got
And
released like it was bootlegged. Fat Joe took that off. That's the one he took off the shelf. He had Ja Rule on there, Cool G Rap, Pink,
yep.
dope album.
But
They, said it was one. Go ahead.
but it goes to show that young people actually like that style of hip hop. It's just a thing of not having the right people to give them that. Like Cuban is one of those guys that are like the right the right guy. You know what I mean? Like
He's
if you're gonna
timeless.
show a younger person, what happened?
He's timeless. His music is timeless.
Yes,
Like Biggie Smalls, Big
yes, he
Pun,
is.
Tupac, all the greats.
If I were to show like a 14-year-old or a 15-year-old like a dope MC, Cuban Link would be like a perfect example because I feel like his style of music and writing gravitates towards anybody. Anybody could listen to Cuban and like it, in my opinion.
In my opinion, he's
And those
got this.
people,
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. I want to keep hearing what you say. I'm sorry. I do tend to interrupt. Go ahead.
no, my bad. It's because I pause a lot. But like those people that reached out to me to like basically, I don't know why they're thanking me. They're thanking me for reacting to it and putting them on, I guess. But they were like, "Yo, bro, like Cuban's so dope." Those guys are younger than me. That dude, that screenshot I showed you, that guy's like 19. You
Wow.
know what I mean? So it goes to show like Cuban is hitting. He just needs a machine behind him, man.
That's it, and
That's
that's
all
what
he
we're trying to
needs.
do
He
right now.
needs a machine.
Yep. Hmm.
But he's timeless. He's timeless. Cuban's a dope MC.
Someone just wrote someone here. Bad Bunnies
Bad
is
Bunny.
the Drake of male nurses. What?
What does that mean?
I don't know, but Bad Bunny
Oh, that's
is
funny.
the Drake of male nurses. All
That's
right.
funny. I
I
don't
mean,
even know what that means.
that sounds funny as hell, but it must. I don't know if it's supposed to be a pun or like what is that supposed to be, but. I'm looking at the comment on my big screen because I can't read it on my little screen here. Yo, that's hilarious. Whatever that means, yo, it's funny. Shit.
But yeah, Cuban's timeless.
Yeah, man. So another question I had, like, all right, so this is something I said on the last time you're right. Like, one thing I watched is like, I didn't watch all of them. I started watching a little bit of each, and I commented on them because I was trying to run through all your stuff, getting to know your platform. Then like I said, I fell into like a rabbit hole watching you. So because you got a lot of
Right.
interesting content, because it goes from interviews to rap freestyle battles to it's funny stuff like the 10 worst Instagram rappers, and the reaction videos. You do a dope job. That's why it's like I was looking. When I was on there, I always look to see who did cute. But it was also you also did toe to toe, and then you did
Yep.
also letter to pun the first one. I letter to pun the first one. That's a dope video too. That was when he
Yep.
was at MOB Records, and you know, you see how it's like the movement was strong. He had a huge, he still does. Like it's one of these things. It's like you got the fan base, but you still got the people that don't understand what really happened. You don't matter how many times you do an interview, and it go, he's even been on Vlad. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's had dope platforms he's been on, and it's like it's like he can't get on Drink Champs, and Nori said, "Why? I could never interview." And then that just admitted that Fat Joe was blackballing Cuban without saying so. If Nori did us a favor, letting out the
Yep.
bag, even though he's talking trash. Can't respect Nori because Nori has mad love for Big Pun. If you have love for Big Pun, you have to love Cuban because that was Big Pun's
Yep.
brother, like for real. I mean, out of every Terror Squad member, Cuban was the closest to him. That was his brother. They came up together, ever since Cuban was like
Yep.
15 years old. So I mean, I'm not even telling stuff that's not out there. Like this is all stuff that's documented, and everybody that knows Cuban knows these stories if they follow them. I don't. And I'm just speaking, reiterating what's already been said. It's like the whole thing. It's like I think the this track I did, I really wanted it to go viral with the dirty section. I only got 4,000 views on it, but organically, and I can't promote it.
Really?
Yeah, I got 4,400 something
Oh
views on it,
wow.
and that's a dope
Wow.
track, bro. Like, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, definitely.
it's a podcast. This and but it's also claiming the dirty section. You like the gym scene? And you dropped a whole gym when you were a little kid. Remember he said
Oh
that?
yeah.
And so we
Yeah,
put that
yeah.
in there. Like I'm using a hot dog to rob in the gym. So. What else are
He's
we?
dropping every
So I was
line.
saying the 10. So explain to us where you started doing the 10 Instagram worst rappers. What brought that on?
So it with the younger community. There's like there's this crazy thing going on in hip hop right now with the younger community. A lot of younger people are moving away from hip hop for like things like what is it, EDM, electric dance music, or like country, because
Okay.
hip hop is so bad on the internet, like so bad. And I was like, I'm gonna expose how bad these guys are. So I was like, every time I see one of these guys, I'm gonna just react to them, and that's what I started doing. And the worst part is they come in all ages. It'll be a dude that's like damn near 60, or a young man who's barely turning 18. They come in all ages, all skin colors. They're terrible, and I took it upon myself to at least shed some light on it
Expose
because
it. At
they're
least let people
terrible.
have their own opinion of it. See what's out there.
And the
See what's
funny
going
part
on.
is
Like
I
someone like me
got
wouldn't know anything about that.
yeah,
I
it's very
wouldn't know a
niche.
thing about it. So,
Yeah,
I don't even
so
know. Like it's like some of these people that are in industry don't even know about certain rappers that are out there that like don't get no credit, and it's just me trying to do my job. So I'm trying to stay relevant with certain people, and but it has to be to
yeah,
me, like in my what I consider like real hip hop to me, and so
yeah,
it's like I found this white rapper named first I seen Tom McDonald when he first he's doing a whole bunch of different things like country music, rap, all sorts of stuff. He does a lot of good music,
yeah.
and he's number one on the billboards for a long time. I don't think people in the industry that aren't paying attention don't know. And then I came across Adam Calhoun. He's actually come from a neighborhood like I did, being a white dude, and he from Chi-Town, and he spits, bro, spits like really raps like
What's his
real hip
name?
hop. Adam Calhoun really spits. He did a. I mean, well, I don't know if this is what made him. He did a song called Racism, and dope beat, dope content. I feel like oh, P Dub, our I can't, we used to call him Giggles. By the way, everybody we call him Giggles. P Dub. He doesn't want Giggles because what it means, because who it came from, and I'm not going to say the person's name on here, but he goes by P Dub now. He's a huge Prof fan. He goes Prof baby. He loves Prof. Peter, he loves Prof. Like I'll tell you a little bit. At some point here, I'm going to get P Dub on our platform and have him do an interview. He does the drumming. He's a drummer, producer, all of everything. Even though we can't figure out our camera situation, we still make it work. And we're getting so um, he huge. He used to do death metal. He was in the Battle of the Bands. Um, he was
You
in the
said
Battle of
fake
Bands.
ass rap.
Oh, is we guys watch? Yeah, it's an Invicta. That's all right. That's what they, people like to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's regardless. Usually I don't respond to that, but anyways, uh, it says doctor, not a doctor. Haters make us better creators. It's all good though. Thank you for coming on. Anyways, I appreciate it. So what was I getting with this? I just got totally
You were
discombobulated.
talking about how certain artists in the industry don't even like recognize other artists coming up.
Right, and like Adam Calhoun, and there's other ones, Hood Smokers podcast, balls streaming to seven people.
We got
Yeah, you're
haters.
right,
We
but
got
usually
haters
I had
right now.
1,500 people in here. It's all good, bro. You didn't have to take that down, but that's all good. It's just people coming on here, just freaking um talking. But with that all being said, so there's all these other masseuse. He's a like country style rapper. Yeah, I watched this whole rap battle thing go on between. There's a Upchurch. You ever hear of him?
Upchurch, no.
He's a white country rapper. And then Adam Calhoun did like a ton of diss track. Dude going through was awesome content. Um, so a lot of people don't know about that unless they look it up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you know, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, like we have like a whole world out there that a lot of people don't know about, and it's like with the younger people, I'm learning like if it has a good beat, like you know, I can handle it. You know what I mean? As long as it's not whack lyrics, as long as we got lyrics going. You know, it's just a different style. Like you know, like it's more like that dance feel, but
Yeah.
like if it bumps, though, it bumps. That's it. If it bumps, it bumps.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
like
the
back in the
style.
day,
That's the new style.
I love the bump with Easy E Boys in the Hood. Like you know, that's my. Even though I'm East Coast, but that was one of my favorites coming up. You know, it just that feel of that. You know, it's like when I was coming up in the streets and like hustling and stuff back in '93. Wu-Tang Clan. That it reminds me of Tim Boots, hoodies, and Scullies, and cold weather. That's what it reminds me of. You know, the you know at that
So
time in my life.
I got a question for you actually, since
Yeah.
you brought up Eazy-E. How did the East Coast react to the West Coast, like the West Coast boom? You know, like the Dr. Dre's, NWA, and all that when it first
Before
came
the East
out.
Coast and West Coast, before the whole thing with Tupac and Biggie,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
embraced them. We embraced them, but I mean, it was still like hip hop came from the Bronx. You know, that's how we always felt. But um, if it was dope, it was dope. I mean, you know, I don't remember anybody really saying things. You had Too Short out in the '80s. You had Easy E, you know, NWA in the late '80s. And then shortly after that, in the early '90s, you had you know, Stoop Dogg, and you know, you had you know, the Doc did an album, Ice Cube. You know, they all came out with albums. You know, I think Ice Cube came out with an album first because he left NWA because of the record deals that he wasn't getting. I've seen that in the
So
movie. I mean, I kind of knew
it
about it.
wasn't beef all the time.
Huh? No, not. I
So it
don't
wasn't
believe
beef
so.
all the
Not
time.
back then. All right, so I'm going to tell you a true story. Hopefully, it doesn't end up being the highlight again because every time I tell this story, it ends up being the highlight of my life. So back in 1993, maybe 93, 94 time period. It was wintertime in Troy, New York, and I was with my boy Mac. He was my partner, and he said, "Yo, I got to meet this guy." We're sitting in my limousine, and we were parked, and this guy, you know, he's just dropping something off to me. I'm thinking, "What the hell's this? I don't know nothing about it. This is my partner. Like, what's going on?" The East Coast West Coast battle was so bad. This is a true. I can't lie. This is crazy. I sound like Fat Joe. You can't lie. Make this up. But uh, so sitting there, and the guy comes in, just a normal dude from the hood. He hands him a brown paper bag. He gets out. He says, "You didn't get this from me." It was a copy of Snoop Dogg's album.
Before it came out?
Because no, afterwards, but nobody could rock West Coast stuff because of the West Coast East Coast battle going back and forth. In the beginning of
Oh,
it, it was that serious. People took all their West Coast stuff, broke it. You know, everybody was, you know, it was like real war. Like some people took it to a whole nother level, but it was crazy, bro, for real. It was like some real like time. It was something that stays stamped in my head. Like I couldn't believe that like you had to go through this degree to listen to the music. Because before the East Coast West Coast, I was listening to Snoop Dogg,
right.
but I remember getting rid of it because of that.
Wow,
I
that's
loved his
crazy.
first. I loved it. I loved his first album. Like, was it? I forget what it was called, but it had Dre on it.
The Dogtown.
Yeah, Dog Pound. Yep. So you know, it was serious back then. Like, but then before that though, I don't remember any real beef. There might have been arguments like it's not hip hop, or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
DC had the go go music, and out in Midwest had the go go music. And I'm not really sure exactly what they consider go go music, to be honest with you.
So how did you guys react to the South then?
I mean, we didn't listen to the South music. We didn't have nothing that I remember.
Oh
Anybody
wow.
remember the South? Anybody from the South coming up in the '80s and early '90s? I just can't. I mean, where's Coolio from?
Coolio's from Cali.
Okay, so no, that was West Coast. I mean, we had the Cleveland, like the Easy E signed. Oh my God, Bone Thugs, Bone Thugs.
Yep. I
I
think
think
they're
weren't they from
Midwest.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that that was and then Biggie did a track with Bone Thugs. That was one of the dopest tracks that Bone Thugs ever did, and it was one of the more doper Biggie Smalls tracks too. That gets played all the time to this day. You know. Um,
What
what up,
up? What
though,
up, though?
smokers? So, yeah, I'm gonna be doing my interview. God, I can't remember the exact date, but you come to my Instagram or my Facebook. You'll see the date of the interview. Dope flyer they made. So check that out when it comes about. Looking forward to that. Tell some crazy stories from back in the day, and I love the Hood Smokers, bro.
Nappy
Two
Boy.
Live Crew, that was Rap A Lot Records, 8 Ball, and MJG, bro. A gang of down south, old school. What? Yeah, was that like late 80s?
Yeah, we're talking about late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah, so he just said all those people right there. Two Live Crew, I think they were from, yeah, because they're from Florida, so that's down south,
Oh
right?
yeah.
They're from Jupiter, Florida. Or no, where are they from in Florida? I know they're from Florida, though. Yo, I used to love that. I mean, I used to listen to, one of the first albums I think that I had. I had this 10 speed when I was a kid, and I put it was my aunt. Every bicycle I ever had was a hand me down from my aunt, like crazy, like girl bikes. I
Yeah.
had a cassette. She bought me my aunt bought me this cassette thing. Took batteries, and it had speakers on it. It was ahead of its time. I just put my cassette in it, and I just like the attention I got when I played this song because of all the nastiness. There was a song called "Hey, We Want Some Pussy." I used to rock that on my 10 speed all the time, and then I got the Two Live Crew, "Me So Horny." That was a dope album too. I used to save up all my money, go to the record store and get like I used to buy all sorts like Bismarcky. I remember getting D Nice. I don't know who remembers D Nice. I used to rock D Nice all the time. Those were the ones coming up like anybody remember Kwame, De La Soul, and then there's Tribe Called Quest. They dope. I'm sure you heard Tribe Called
Yeah.
Quest. If you ever want to do a reaction to Kwame, is different. They're like a whole different thing. See, Brother Marquise, R.I.P. Fresh Kid Ice. My brothers, they were always out here in Detroit. Monte Cristo is under China Man Records. Fresh Kid Ice label with JT Money. Yo, yeah, R.I.P. Fresh Kid Ice. Yeah, so down south though, like with that, like down south, like flow. You know what I mean? That dirty south music. I think that was like more of like mid to late '90s, right? To start
Yeah.
it.
So the reason I bring them up is I wanted to see if like did you guys never had beef with them like how you guys
Uh,
had it with the West Coast like you guys.
no, I mean we might not have embraced them, but I like I said, I never listened to any. Like it
Okay.
was always the same. Like if I had Biggie Smalls, I just rocking Biggie Smalls, Wu Tang Clan, Onyx. Just that I was very closed minded per se.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
liked what I
yeah.
liked. I was very closed minded. Now I'm more open minded. But he said upstate. We're upstate. Like you mean upstate? Brother Marquise was from upstate, like upstate New York, upstate. Where
Yeah.
was that?
Upstate could
Jason
be a
Gutter.
lot.
Brother Marquise. So he said he's from upstate. I'm not really sure where you talk about upstate. Like upstate New York, because that's a saying here, upstate New York. It's also a saying I'm going upstate. That means going to the prison, getting locked up. But um, I personally, I've rest. I'm out upstate right now, so.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, bro. Let's see. What are the other comments? So yeah, so always check out Hood Smokers podcast. They show love. Like once you in the circle, we you guys show there's certain type of aberrations for similar things. It doesn't mean you have to agree on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have your own opinions about anything. So
Yeah. I
here we're
want to
gonna
tap
go
in
to
with
the.
it.
So at the end of the day, your top three. I'm pretty sure I know your number one, but your top three rappers. I asked you this question again, and then I'm gonna have a couple more questions for you before we get off of here.
Top three rappers.
Hmm.
So yeah, you already know what one of them is. So I thought about it from the last time we were live. There's a guy for the number 3 spot. I'm throwing a random name. His name is Kwame Katana. I'm not gonna get too into him. I feel like that's one of those names you gotta go out there and listen to.
Okay.
Kwame Katana. I'm gonna say Big Pun. I didn't realize how much I liked Big Pun until I started really thinking about it. So Kwame, Big Pun, Cannabis. Cannabis on my one spot.
Respect, respect. Although, I mean, I don't know Kwame. I'm sure of Kwame. I mean, I'm gonna check him out because I'm gonna have to. And he
He's
said
from
he's not really
Pennsylvania.
sure where. So members from Two Live Crew that was from Miami was Luke. He put them together. Fresh Kid Ice from the West Coast, and Brother Marquise is from somewhere upstate. I can't think of the state. So, um, that he was just giving us some facts because they're good at facts. They know their hip hop, that's for sure. Whether they know hip hop like you know hip hop in your own young man age, they very, I know what I know, and that's it. Like I'm trying to learn more. You know, I just followed like, if you were like to be, say I wasn't in this business, if you were in my car listening to music, it's going to be the Cuban Link, Big Pun, Biggie Smalls, um, maybe Big L, Black Rob, Method, like Onyx, like dude,
Wow.
that genre, like that. If you were listening, and then when I get some drinks in me, of like Audio 2, Top Billin', I Get Money, the original, um, Rock the Bells, El Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out, I'll get into some stuff like that. D Nice, Call Me D Nice, I love that, for my era. I'm closed minded, but I'm trying to learn. When the interview again, we flew Brother Marquise out here to Detroit and rocked a strip club show. Shortly before he passed, I had the honor to party and interview brother. That's dope, bro. I gotta watch that that interviews with him. I know I've watched it probably. Did you get any of the live footage? Well, they don't let you use cameras in a strip club. That would have been funny. Watch the Two Live Crew, some of the most dirty talking rappers out there. I know Cuban's got a song uh, Luke with Big Pun, and it's a long ass song. I forget what it's called, but I heard it. Cuban said that's the only time he feel like he did better than Big Pun on a song. But
In my opinion,
check it out.
Cuban Link is the only one to really literally go toe to toe with Big Pun, like actually give him a challenge.
I believe so, and I believe Pun, if he was still here, would have gotten better by the day. But if you go back to Cuban when he first started, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I feel like young Cuban was dope. They call him lyrical assassin for a reason, but his metaphors and his way he flows and the way he exchanges, and like it was even over my head. I said I knew what he was talking about. In one of his lines in Hit the Road Crap, he said something about cruising to Vanilla Sky. If you understand what that is, Tom Cruise in the movie Vanilla Sky. That was pretty dope. Let's see. We're trying to bring Cuban to Rick the strip clubs out here. The strip club rap scene been big here since the '80s. I believe that. I mean, all the Detroit movies I've watched about hip hop, uh, um, the whole movie with White Boy Rick. I watched that, which is a crazy story. Comes out to be in a rat and informant, but the story is crazy from Detroit, and then um, uh, the game out of BMF, like that story out of there, that's insane. Big Meech, that's a whole nother story in itself, and that's Detroit. I'm following. I watched them. I didn't really understand it back in the day. Like I seen them, with the music and all that stuff. Southwest, 100 years.
Big Meech.
Welcome home. Yes, definitely. Big Meech and Detroit legend. For other reasons. And also he brought. He did that whole Atlanta thing where he got the hip hop label going, and um, you know too bad things went the way they did for them, but now he's out. Maybe he continue the legacy at some point if he gets in the right situation, and he's got the name to do so. with his son. I'm not really sure how their relationship's working out. So someone just blocked something on here, but
He's out here winning. Yeah, I saw a video of Big Meech like in Miami recently. And he's living life.
yeah. I mean, I think he didn't understand how things work. You got to get used to not having the money that you used to have, and it's hard because I remember even now, like you used to having so much, and then you don't have nothing. So like when you get money, you spent it like you always had constant money coming in. And I know 50 gave him so much, and then he ended up going through it. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I hear. I don't know facts, and when you're used to that lifestyle, you used to be able to just do what you want. You think it's never going to stop. I mean, it really does. You really feel that way. And I think that's a problem with some rappers today. Like, they get a nice chunk, get a couple $100,000. They spend it like they're millionaires. Been there, done that. You know what I mean? So I understand. And then next thing you know, you got this nice gold chain. Now you're selling it. I had to sell my chains. It was actually like my favorite possession. I didn't even have a dope one. I just had a 30-gram gold chain Cuban Link. And, uh, and, that cost me, quite a bit of money. I only got 1,500 for it. So I was, I was very sad to sell that. Yeah. So,
There's a difference between rappers and gangsters. Absolutely. I don't even want to get into that because that's, you know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I agree that, they're very knowledgeable, hood smokers. Like I listen to their stuff, a lot. And as now this is a big up to the hood smokers. Since I've known them, they went from one degree to another. They've always had good names, but now I watch them and I peep in. Sometimes I don't catch them live, but I watch their interviews. Their numbers are growing like crazy.
Yeah.
They have some big people on there. They were in a magazine. If you don't, you can say the magazine that you guys got printed in, and they get acknowledged everywhere as in hip hop. They get award. They got an
Oh,
award
wow.
of some sort. Yeah. They're doing a good job. They stay consistent. Yeah, you too, brother. They stay consistent, and I'm looking forward to getting on there because at this point, I feel like that's a huge plug for us. Getting on that platform, and I love Detroit. I have family out there, and I would love to get out there at some point. Unfortunately, I could have done this trip. I have a beautiful Infinity that maybe someday I'll get back if courts see it my way. And drive out there and be able to take a business trip and make it into some fun and some memories and some legendary things. Just with the team and with all the teams together, and even my Jersey branch, and then our branch up here, and do some beautiful things over there. Break some bread together. That's we win in whether we break bread or not, but we're gonna break bread. Okay, enemy.
Yeah, I like
What's
them.
called
I like those
public.
guys a lot. Hood Smokers podcast. Yeah, I like them because they're very knowledgeable. And they always show love in my videos. They I think even before I went live with them, maybe the Hood Smokers podcast was actually commenting on my videos. So
Love
it
it.
was definitely they
So,
show love. I appreciate you guys.
all right. So Chuck D of Public Enemies Magazine, Rap Central Station Magazine. They got a whole page. So that's dope. That's dope. That means they're doing their thing. I mean, these days, unless you like, I'm not gonna say their name to give them a plug, but you know who I'm talking about, the Beluga, and
Yeah.
like the other ones out there. Like there's Mace is doing one, Yayo, the different podcasts out there. Unless you got those big names on there, it's, you ain't really making that money or getting that knowledge. That's why we go by the dirty section. I ain't called hood smokers part of the dirty section because we all. I believe that's who he was talking about. Guy, I caught you on the M80's Instagram live about cannabis. He said he watched you on Instagram with M80 about cannabis.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy behind that, but I shut it down before it got bad because there was a lot of stuff that happened with that whole cannabis thing that involved
Yeah.
M80, cannabis, his manager, and then me and a couple of other guys. And I wasn't gonna. It's not worth beefing about old stuff, man. Especially stuff that
Yeah.
isn't relevant.
I mean, you were 15 when you started. I mean, I'm sure he's seen the understand your passion about whatever, he owed you money. So that was the
Yep.
issue. So I get that. That's something, but Complex Magazine for breaking the news on big proofs of D12's family getting his estate after 20 years. Oh, Complex Magazine,
Wow, 20
they
years?
got in that magazine.
Wow.
He got that magazine. They got Hood Smokers got in that magazine also. So they doing a thing. I mean, the names that they have on there, the Detroit legends. I mean, that's what they about, like Detroit rap scene. And
Yep.
and they always say, and they say they don't dislike Eminem, but it's not about Eminem, because it's a lot bigger than Eminem in Detroit. A lot of hip
Yeah,
hop.
absolutely.
So, I love you
Absolutely.
rocking the Yankees. Uh, it's unreleased music from Proof and unreleased music from Proof. Wow. Yeah, I watch this. Like I pay attention, but it's like there's Hood Smokers have so much content, so much. I did a skit. Maybe you want to check that out. I mean, I did a skit with their one of their hosts, Blantonio Todd. The first one I did was hilarious, but M's my guy shed Shade 45 looked out and their team. M's my guy. Shade 45 looked out and they're my team. Dope, dope, dope. But the only reason I said that because I always hear Blantonio Todd tell me that. But just saying that they don't, but there's so much more to, because a lot of people think of Detroit, they think of M, right? So, but anyways, let's get some last words on here for the listeners. What do you got? Anything to close? Give a plug and
I appreciate you guys for listening, giving me a platform to speak. Shout out to Jboss, Hood Smokers Podcast, and you know what I mean? I just appreciate you guys for letting me speak. We are the culture and we will continue to keep pushing forward.
that's it, man. I appreciate your reviews and the interviews and the knowledge that you have. Keep doing what you do. We'll be in touch in the future for more stuff. Much love from Hood Smoker, as you see. Peace, love. If you haven't, check out TK Shady. Dope content. He's got a whole bunch of different things on there. You gotta keep checking. You better not do it from your TV. You better do it from your phone or because it's hard to move around or your computer. So I have to go on my phone sometimes to find things because he's got all sorts of stuff on there. It's hard to find if you're just on the TV doing it through your Roku or something. But that's how I usually watch it at night. But peace. P Dub said peace. That's all right. Energy. So we love you. What do you say? Stay consistent. Catch Jboss on the Hood Smokers podcast next Saturday. So pay attention. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. So I'll
Yes,
be on there. So
sir.
stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a dope, dope interview. And appreciate all the haters because you make us better creators. And TK, keep doing your thing. That kid Shady, on his all different avenues, interviews, visuals for the what are they called, the reaction videos, dope, and interviews and funny stuff that you have, the content, bro. All right, rap battler, uh, all the above. Love y'all. Peace. I'm gonna hit you up in a
See
minute. All
ya.
right. All
Yes,
right.
sir.